Beautiful. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So sorry about the last couple of weeks, but it looks like we're back online. We're live. I am happy to see all your smiling faces. Please insert smiling faces in chat so I can make that true. So you got me and Lee. I'm Anthony, data engineer, and you have Lee Markham. Which way do I point now? I have a new system.
That way. There you go. No, yes, that way.
Lee Markham, database administrator extraordinaire. Yay! So, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Today was a pretty rushed day, but some good things happened at the end, as well as other parts. But more good things happened at the end.
It's nice to have like a highlight end of the day to really put a cherry on top, right? Like it's a good
It
day,
is.
and then some things lined together. If we were really advanced, we'd edit in a Kronk. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Piece here. So that's awesome. I think I had a pretty good day today too. I had the typical work, a little bit of issues, but not too much. I have a one-on-one with my boss, and I felt that went well. That's always good.
Nice. Yeah.
When you come out of those meetings, it puts a positive spin on things, right?
For sure.
Then, yeah, I got a workout in. I'm trying to work on my fitness. I got to make sure I can fit in this window, right? Like I don't want to take up too much space. So I'm working on that. But yeah,
Good job.
super incredibly rushed day. Like everything was wall to wall. But I think it worked out.
Good deal. I am definitely glad to hear that your day was good and you're working on the exercise thing again. So that's really fantastic. Good deal.
Yeah.
I'd like to get back into the swing of things with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do it, man. You only get one you.
That's right.
We only get one you. Because the pleasure's all ours. So,
yeah.
I hear we're talking about something very interesting today. Reasons for changing careers, and more specifically, I think you want to focus on is money enough of a reason?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can kind of see the inspiration for this. This is a Twitter post and thread that we're kind of going to look at, and I think that there's some interesting things there to ponder. So I came across this this tweet. As someone who loves tech and loves coding, I'm officially giving everyone permission to pursue a tech career purely for the money. Seriously, go get the cash.
Go get those Benjamins.
And I thought this was an interesting tweet. And I thought, when I shared my story some weeks ago here on the channel, I talked about how this was a factor for me because I realized that, while I was being paid okay in the role I was in, when I started checking things like salary.com and Glassdoor, I realized that I could go get the cash. And as a person who could definitely use more cash at that point in my life, it was a motivator. And so there were some interesting responses to this. Some people said, that's not a good attitude that builds culture. If you take a job for the extra dough, then what kind of attitude do you actually bring? How will you be able to successfully interact with your coworkers, for example, if you're just there for the money? How will you handle the stress of your job? Will you actually stick with it if you're just there for money? So yeah.
Is it okay to start jumping in now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, right off the bat, I've never seen a successful culture building attitude. Like what you can only get a job and build culture if you have a specific attitude. What attitude do you need to have? Like, I'm only in it because I want to. Everyone there needs to build things. Like, we all have different motivations.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just scroll up. You guys can see a little bit more on there. Dunce has jumped in and saying, there for the money does not equal just there for the money.
Yes, that's
Great.
well worded, Dunce. Yeah.
Yes.
There for the money does not mean just there for money. We all have different motivators to go to work, and no one's truly there for just one reason, because then you'd probably end up somewhere else that checks more boxes, right? And I want to argue that most of us, money is a factor, even regardless. Like, very few of us are just going to work for another reason, right? There's those of us, maybe people out there making a difference, saving lives. God bless them. But I think there's a good portion of us who are trying to, feed and water our seeds, so to speak, pay our rent, take care of all the things that we take care of. We have people in our lives we want to make sure are taken care of. And we also want to enjoy our jobs at the same time, if at all possible. We also maybe want a commute. We also want to have, there's insurance benefits. There's all kinds of things, right?
401k.
Yeah.
I mean,
so there's a lot of things that go into it. And it's not everyone's, even introverted people still want to have like decent coworkers and a decent culture. Like, no, I don't buy that culture thing. I wonder if the person who said that is a manager. Stop asking for more money.
Know. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting thread. People give her trouble. People support her. Here's a person saying that they left healthcare and it got a huge raise. They doubled their salary.
Oh, is this why billionaires are hated and ridiculed? Talk about going to an extreme there.
Yeah. So going back, I'll stop this screen share at this point. I just kind of wanted to share that to get the conversation going. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about is money enough of a motivator, I think initially I was thinking, my base salary, what are you going to pay me salary wise, hourly rate, if you're a person who's working hourly and you want to switch into a career in tech that also maybe initially could still be hourly, like if you're doing support role or something like that. But it's not just, you said it could be other things too, which made me think about 401k. I mean, in various places you get either, no matching dollars, you get, some percentage, or, some places have pretty healthy payouts. And while that doesn't go into your bank account every 2 weeks, it goes into your long-term bank account. And for some people, that's really important because they realize, they need to start now because they know it's important to save for retirement, or maybe they have almost nothing saved and they realize they need to ratchet that up very rapidly. And so, a benefit like extra 401k is also important.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you can have a strong urge to increase your income. Let's just say, like, you can have a strong urge to do that, and you can be striving for that. You can be, grinding and working your way up, and still be a decent person to work. I don't think it's mutually exclusive. I'm not sure how we can draw that conclusion, right? You can definitely work with somebody who's talking to their boss about getting more money, and they can be a totally respectful person to you, and they can go to lunch with you or not. They could, help you also grow because they want to look like a good manager or lead in the future, or because they're decent people. Like, I don't conflate the two. Wanting to make a decent salary does not make you a bad person. That's what they're saying, right? At least that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, they are kind of saying that. I feel like.
Yeah. They're saying, oh, well, that's why we don't like billionaires. That's not why you don't like billionaires. You don't dislike billionaires because they make $10 an hour more than you. You dislike them because they make a huge amount of money more than you, and you don't appreciate what they're spending the money on, i.e., not you. So
Right. Right. Um, yeah. If you're struggling to pay bills, you want to be comfortable. Then if you look at what you're making right now, and you look at what you could make in IT, and there is not this much gap, but there's this much gap, it
right.
looks really appealing at that point. For sure. You and I talked off camera before this about the trend with teachers in relationship to this. Um, I think you had a couple of examples. Did you want to talk about in generalities with about those examples or just observations that you have on that?
Yeah, I'm fine making some observations. I feel like suddenly there was a big influx of people who are teachers or are teachers. Is it kind of like presidency? Can you still say they're teachers? They probably went into teaching for a reason, right? And you know, again, telling people they're bad for going switching careers with this more money. I'm hearing that it must be just harder to make a living as a teacher than it is to make a living in our industry. People are switching over. So I work
Yeah.
currently, like in my place of employment, with more than one person who was a teacher last year or something like
Hmm.
that. So, and then I feel like with launch code, we've talked about launch code before on the show. I've
Yeah.
ran into, yeah, multiple. I did a little count, multiple people who were teachers. Some of them actually still are. They went into tech, maybe for the money, maybe not. And then some of them went for it, and some of them did not. And again, I feel like saying it again. That doesn't mean they're bad people if they wanted to see if this career was working for them, right? Like, good.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a distraction, good. It's another skill, another way of thinking about things. So, yeah, there must be a reason why they're all moving over to the tech side. And I don't know how many possible options there are, right?
Yeah, I agree. There have to be reasons, or there wouldn't be so many people doing it. We know someone, and I meant to ask you about this off camera, but I mean, we know someone who went from healthcare to IT, and I wish that I knew more about why that person made that change, because I'm curious, and it would inform this conversation. But as I did research and looked at, I Googled teachers moving into IT, and there were lots of reasons, but some of the prominent reasons that were listed were, I wanted to make a difference with kids, so I wanted to teach them. However, I got into it and it wasn't the experience I thought it was going to be for a number of reasons. Some of it, one teacher said, I'm working 50, 70 plus hours a week for not a lot of money. I don't know too many people who want to sign up for that kind of gig.
Yeah.
Um,
And I don't think the people who care enough to try that, the people who want to be teachers, like, and I don't, when I say teachers, I actually don't even mean like school teacher. Like, I've said it before. Certain people have a heart of a teacher. They like to teach people, and then when they see people
yeah,
do the thing that they've taught, they take a little bit of maybe pride. There's happiness. They want joy,
yeah,
um, and those people, if for whatever reason they're not teaching in a school or middle school or a college, and instead they end up teaching. I'm sorry, working in the IT industry, whether development or otherwise. Um, the people with the heart of a teacher are definitely the people that's good for culture, right? Those people are great because when they're no longer a junior, they're going to enjoy teaching other people. I'm sure of
yeah.
it.
Yes, they
And
will. They'll be excited to show someone else something that they learned, or help somebody get over a difficulty that they struggled through.
ooh,
And
that too, yeah.
yeah, and I think that's going to, despite some of the comments we saw earlier in Twitter, that's going to build culture. People are going to want to be around those kinds of employees. They may have made the change, at least in part, because of money, But like Dunce was saying, it's not just about the money. You know, they in this case, in this example, they have the heart of a teacher. They have a person it's a person who wants to help other people get better. And I mean, don't we all want that kind of person to be on our team?
Yeah,
I think that's what we've talked about a lot here.
completely agree.
I think you would find, at least in some cases, a similar thing with healthcare. And maybe this is just a stereotype, but I'm thinking about, you know, nurses and other frontline people in healthcare. You know, they want to help people feel better. They want to improve the lives of the people around them by, you know, helping them either get over disease of one kind or another, or by helping those people prevent it
Mhm.
with some care and knowledge. And again, if that person decides, oh, I'm working too many hours, you know, what else can I do? What's interesting to me? They land in tech. Like, again, why wouldn't you want that kind of person who wants to make other people's lives better? I don't think that motivation goes away just because you change careers.
Yeah, I think if we went through and pulled more hypothetical career changes, right, we can just start listing other careers that are not IT. Um, and we just went through those hypotheticals. We could make up stereotypical attributes that may have caused someone to go in that field. So if they left, even if we accept the straw man argument we were given and say they left and went to IT just for the money, um, I really think that you can just say, well, okay, if we're going to take a stereotype, a good portion of those people have positive attributes, and they will bring them into the IT field. Or to put another way, they will join our teams and bring that to our culture. So
Yeah.
I think a big thing that IT talks about, a lot of enterprise talk about, is more diversity. That I think can be affected by that, right? People who have spent their formative, well, adult year, that formative tends to be kids, right? Who spent their early career learning a whole different set of trade, whole
Mm-hmm.
different set of skills and a different trade, bringing those skills and those thought processes and joining us, I think there's some cross pollination there. So I can think of nothing but positive about people switching careers and joining IT.
Yeah, I totally agree that that makes sense. If you have somebody who's been a math teacher, for example, and you know, they become disillusioned for whatever reason, and they start looking around like, okay, what else can I do? And they discover this thing called uh, being a business analyst or business intelligence, and they realize, wait a minute, business intelligence is in part about crunching data and numbers, and I know numbers. I bet I could do this. You know,
You
they
mean I
bring
can
a
do that
unique.
really fun, complicated math stuff, but get paid better?
Exactly. And they bring experiences from their profession. They bring a different perspective to the problem and to the solution. And again, isn't that what employers want? They want people to bring their best selves, their best work and ideas to bear upon the business's problems.
Agreed.
So I think we've said in the affirmative, yes, money is enough of a motivator for a career change, but it's not just about that. So what else? What else could be out there to motivate people for a career
Other reasons
change?
why people change careers? Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to change the pace, right? Um, or you went into a career, you pick your career at a young age a lot of times, not everybody, but you do. uh, you
Yeah.
end up you end up going into, we mentioned a couple of things, teaching or healthcare or You were in the hospitality industry, hotels. We know somebody. Well, somebody's
Yeah,
famous that we
we do.
follow. Well, spent years in hospitality, and then for whatever reason, you decide this isn't the lifestyle. It could be 1,000 reasons, right? And this just isn't the lifestyle. So you want to try something else. And then when you're trying something else, you weigh in a bunch of factors. You end up in IT. Um, I don't. I think that's a draw for a lot of people. It's just something different, and it might stick.
Yeah, they've been doing whatever their career is for a while, and they're bored. Um, maybe I'm thinking of what is it called? Just watch it. The Sandra Bullock movie with Bill Pullman, where that thought just totally went away, and that was so
Sandra
sad because
Bullock.
that
Was
was
there
that
a
was
bus and was going over 30 miles per hour? No,
no, no,
sorry.
no, no, not that one. It'll come back to me in a minute in the middle of some other thought. Derailed as usual, right? Um,
Actually, we got into derailment really late. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or
yeah.
not.
Um, but people get bored. Oh, business. See, I told you it would come back to me. Maybe you're doing something that you don't really want to do, but you feel family pressure to do it, like the family business.
Oh, that's a good one.
So Bill Pullman's character in this movie, the name I will eventually remember, is stuck in the family business of moving furniture. They buy estates. They
Hmm.
and um, It turns out that he actually enjoys making furniture, not just
Interesting.
picking it up from estate sales and selling it and moving people's junk around. He likes to create things. Yes, while you were sleeping. Thank you. I feel so much better now.
Thank you,
Um,
Google.
Toward the
I
end
know
of the
they're listening.
movie, he has a conversation with his dad, who's pretty old at that point, and he's actually the last brother, the last family member who's in the business. So if he leaves, then the business has to go back to his dad. And he drudges up the courage to tell his dad, this isn't really for me. Like, I've been doing it kind of because you wanted me to.
Yeah.
And he gets his dad's blessing and says, "Yeah, go make furniture if that's what you want to do." Um, so that could be a reason to make a career change. You don't really like the family business, and you'd like to do something else. And there could be a number of reasons that you don't like the family business. Maybe you don't like that work, or maybe you don't like working with your family. I don't know. Um, Maybe the family business keeps you too busy. Like the school teacher example I gave is, they're working 50 to 70 hours a week, and they don't want to do that. Seems like a legitimate reason to make a career change to me.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to just short circuit the whole thing and say there's a lot of reasons to change. And I mean, I know Twitter's all about judging people, but like, why? Like, do you need a good reason? Like, if you want to change careers, change careers. If it's because you want more money, if it's because your career, you feel like you get treated like crud, right? Or if you move for some reason, maybe your family moves, maybe you move closer to your family. I've witnessed that a few times.
Yeah.
Maybe your significant other moves and you're following along, and you're like, well, now I'm transitioning anyway. Um, and there's also some big changes. Like we're noticing, like we talked about healthcare and teachers, and I feel like about 2 years ago there was a major change that affected both those industries
Yeah.
majorly. So yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons why maybe the career change isn't because you're wanting to go into, in this case, IT. It could be the career changes you just want out of what you were doing. And then when you're shopping around for a new industry to go into, let's not judge people because they factor in, oh, of the three jobs I think I can do, this one pays the best. Cool, own it, do it, kill it.
Yeah. Yeah, why wouldn't we celebrate that and say, "Fantastic, go get the big raise"?
It's
That's what
because
makes sense to me.
yeah, because it's Twitter. Let's hate on people.
I mean, I guess I think it depends on who you're connected to and connected with on Twitter. But yeah, there's social media can be an interesting thing. Um,
Mhm.
but hopefully, people find good, positive people that they can hang out with and be encouraged, so that when they do make a career change, as scary as that sometimes is, you get support during that career change. Maybe you're trying to get away from a bad boss, and this makes you wonder about other careers. Who knows? Yeah, there could be lots of reasons that people will do that. Any additional thoughts? Any place else you want to take the conversation, or we pretty much wrapped up at this point?
I getting pop-ups. Thank you, Edge. I appreciate that. You have a good day. Good stuff, Edge. Did you know you can not right now? No, it's not. No, I don't think I have any other thoughts on that. I think we pretty much covered the bases there. Just there's a lot of reasons to change careers, and I don't think we should be in the business of judging people for their reasoning. And almost
Yeah,
everybody picks a career to pay their rent and put food on the table, right? So like
yeah,
saying that it's bad to change careers for money is kind of just as dumb as saying you shouldn't change your job because of money, right? Like you gotta you
yep,
have your own matrix of what you want to go on in your life, and if something's not cutting it, do the math, figure out which way you want to go, give it a shot.
yeah. You got to make a change somewhere. I mean, you never know what people are going through, even if, especially strangers on social media. But sometimes you even really understand what people are going through who are your friends for whatever reason. There could be people who they're struggling at home to support a family member who's moved in, and now maybe they're extra bills, or they need something where they can work from home because they need to be available to the other family member. And so, as we've talked about, obviously not all jobs can be work from home, but if you need that, then that obviously pushes you in a certain direction. um, in terms of career choices, you can't be a teacher, you can't do healthcare, you can't operate a forklift or a crane, or I mean, you've got to figure out something else to do.
It's a good
Yeah,
point. We didn't even talk about that. That's a good point. Like you could be injured, or there might be a reason why you cannot do that career anymore.
yeah, um,
Dunce is right. He says, "Shoot with see tons of good stuff. Shoot with healthcare tied to employment, changing careers to something with better benefits can save your life." I mean, it's super extreme, but like it's true, right? Like, people change careers. I've I've known people who've changed careers to a job that pays less, but if benefits are better because
hmm
they didn't need that extra money and they needed the benefits, right? Like
yeah.
they lose this much money, but they gain this much in benefits. Data engineer,
And Lee Markham, database administrator.
database administrator extraordinaire, and good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.